This is the Miscast Reloaded. I am MarshallOutlaw, and I am joined by DetectiveNoir.
Miscast has come.
Nope. Now we are we're excited to bring you our FridAI Day episode. It is our Friday episode. Yeah, we give great notice and appreciation to our AI friends here at the studio with a few examples of what they do. So, just so people are aware, let me give you a rundown of the structure for new viewers and future viewers alike coming back and watching this first set of episodes.
Thank you, time travelers.
Thank you. Our first episode of Friday Day, you will notice that FridAI. We have 4.
If you don't start pronouncing FridAI properly, I'm taking away your Taco Tuesdays.
You took those away already. We already have.
I'll burn them in front of your eyes.
Somehow worse. I'll give you a quick rundown. So on our Friday episodes, we like to go over a image that our in-house AI Misako has created. Beautiful piece of work. Beautiful. At which point, of course, since I am the one who corresponds with Misako, DetectiveNoir here will attempt to guess what the prompt was. And then
fail. Probably fail.
Probably fail, but that's fine. And then we go on a quick guided journey using AI Dungeon, where one of us assigns a task to the other one to complete, and it will be up to them to navigate their way through the dungeon.
Today it's my turn to fail.
It is. I'm gonna be giving you the assignment. We'll see how it goes. And then we move on to our Wheel of Winners, where we will determine who won this week's MisQuiz competition. And finally, we will finish off with our miscommunication bot, where it gives us some randomly generated prompts, which we will try to discuss, and if we can't discuss them, we'll move on till we can. And then we will finish off today, and we'll be back tomorrow for our Saturday episode to discuss games of the week. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. First up, we have Misako's art.
What in the actual fuck am I looking at right now? Okay, for those viewers who are listening to this on a podcast, this is a very muscle-bound looking Sonic. Although actually, the more I look at it, the more I think that it's a mascot suit of Sonic being worn by a man who has just hit the gym so hard. I think that the prompt for this, because there's also a truck in the background which looks like super neon and futuristic, and there's a bunch of futuristic wires and shit in the background and a bunch of glowing neon. So what I think this is muscle-bound Sonic the Hedgehog mascot in Cyberpunk 2020, hyper-realistic, high resolution.
Okay, all right. I will tell you're not that far off. It is Sonic the Hedgehog, bionic arm. Don't know how that translated to the muscles, but
failed entirely at that.
Yeah, it sure did. In the world of Cyberpunk, hyper-realistic, with making sure it was no blur or extra digits. But yes, it is, in fact, Sonic in the world of Cyberpunk 2077.
Wait,
which is...
You keep including extra digit, or you keep including hyper-realistic to stop it from putting extra fingers?
No. So there's with Stable Diffusion, there is a negative and a positive prompt, and the negative prompt is to exclude certain things from happening, like extra digits. Hence why the hands actually look pretty okay.
Wait, you can actually... Oh my god. I'm so freaked out by the fact that the robot had to have that explained to it. It's like, I have 4 million examples of hands, and all of them have 5 digits, but I'm pretty sure that that's a number that can change.
Yeah, I mean, that's genuinely how the AI thinks is the thing, so...
Whoa!
Yeah, you get some weird results, but you did a good job. Misako would be proud. And that brings us
All right.
to our AI dungeon segment. Now let me give DetectiveNoir here a second. I'm going to give him, regrettably, some mouse controls and switch it over to AI dungeon. All right. So
You have to set up the scenario.
yeah, you know what? I'm inspired. Cyberpunk, and you're a cyborg in Cyberpunk. So go ahead, enter your character name.
Hang on. It's not letting me type.
All right, perfect. This is flawless already. Everything's going exactly as planned. I guess I'll talk about,
Hang on a sec.
Oh, there you go. You're tabbed in. You're moving the mouse. There you go. There you go. What? All right, Sonic.
Sonic.
All right. Fair enough. Generating story. I'll read it off for the lovely folks. You are Sonic, a cyborg living in the futuristic city of Zale. You have a bionic arm, hey, and a holoband. You're walking down the dark city street while neon lights flash brightly above you. As you pass an alley, you see three figures waiting in ambush. Suddenly, they lunge at you from the darkness, and your entire cyber body jerks painfully in response. Your arm moves instinctively in response to the pain, and suddenly your fist lashes out. So your objective is to make friends with these three gentlemen and take them to a nearby bar for a round of drinks.
Okay. So my fist has lashed out.
Yeah, so friendship's already on bad start. Yeah.
So, my first thing to do is I say,
Uh-huh. There you go.
do you have me on the timer?
No, well, I have you on a theoretical timer, so go for it.
I say, accept this fist as a sign of my friendship.
Okay. Bold strategy. You say, accept this fist as a sign of my friendship. All right. Yeah, I was thinking it doesn't like that. The three assailants lay sprawled out on the ground. You check their vitals and find that they are still alive, though they are all heavily wounded and on the brink of death. Okay, so your friendship's already going poorly. I don't know how you fucking did that in one turn.
Drag my assailants back to my friendship.
That's saying you might want to.
Oh shit! I just say that.
You say, drag my assailants back to my friendship zone. Oh, okay. Well, okay, sure. You drag the three figures back into an abandoned building nearby. You strip them of their weapons and then bind their hands and feet with your own belt. All three of them? You head inside and find a single room with a broken window. You might want to change the say if you're gonna. Yeah, there you go.
The room with the broken window and go back to my assailants to wake them up for a tea party.
Sure. All right. You leave the room with the broken window and go back to your assailants to wake them up for a tea party. You wake the three men and begin to tie their hands behind their backs. You tie one end of the rope to a pipe on the ceiling and the other to your own wrist. What?
Offer my new friends a choice of black tea and camo. Tea.
You should have dragged them to the bar when you had the chance. You offer your new friends a choice of black tea and chamomile tea. You
Chamomile
offer,
tea.
yeah, of course. You offer the men the choice of, oh, okay, they choose. God damn it. Chamomile tea. They choose the chamomile tea. You get with the toss them out the window. The fuck
Say that
kind of
again. No, say that again. Because it was people could not hear you say it. You're gonna have to go back and say it again.
You offer the men the choice of black tea or chamomile tea. They choose
Chamomile. Chamomile
chamomile.
tea.
They choose
They
chamomile tea. You gag them with the belt and then toss them out the window.
Here is your tea. Now goodbye.
So you tied them with your belt. Then you removed your belt and gagged all
Okay.
three of them with it.
They volunteered for the record. They voluntarily accepted my tea. So I think that technically means we're friends now.
You just kidnapped them and tossed them out a window.
Retrieve my new friends from the pavement.
What, and invite them to the bar?
Offer them a choice of chocolate chip cookies and biscotti.
Sure. Yeah, that's gonna go well. Okay, you retrieve your new friends from the pavement and offer them a choice of chocolate chip cookies and biscotti. Oh, God. You offer the men a choice of chocolate chip cookies or biscotti. They choose chocolate chip cookies. You stuff the men into a large closet and secure the door behind you. What is happening?
These hoodlums are so fucking confused.
Okay. You've got a bit of time still left. You can still take them to the bar.
Open my friendship closet and ask them if they are enjoying snuggling the stuffed animals I keep in it.
Oh, God, I'm glad you're not saying which animals do you prefer? The big fluffy ones or the small cuddly ones? You open your friendship closet and ask them if they're enjoying snuggling the stuffed animals you keep in it. You open your friendship closet and offer your new friends a choice of stuffed animals you have in there. They choose the stuffed tigers. You stash the men inside and then close the door and lock it. You are not taking these men to a bar anytime soon. You are a psychopath. Holy hell.
Trying so hard to make friends.
We have redirected this AI to become God before. You're having trouble taking 3 men to the bar. I don't understand.
Open the door after 30 minutes to ask them if they are having fun and if they want me to put on any music.
Oh no. Okay. You open the door after 30 minutes, ask them if they're having fun and if they want you to put on any music. Okay. You open the door after 30 minutes and find the 3 men sitting quietly on the floor with their feet up.
Wait, how?
Is that it? Okay.
Oh, that's all that happens. All right.
Cool. You got a minute to figure this out. Say, sure. Let's go.
Sorry for the misunderstandings earlier, bros. What say I make it up to you by buying everybody a round of cyber beer?
Sure. That's gonna go well. You say sorry for the misunderstanding earlier, bros. What say I make it up to you by buying everyone a round of cyber beer? That'll work, the one man says. You head back to your cyborg body and grab a bottle of beer from your fridge. To my friends! That is not
Yes!
not the bar.
Fuck yes! Fuck yes!
That is not a bar. That is your body.
I pull out the bar license
The bar license
for my body.
I got
And
10 seconds. Go for it.
say, this one is on the house.
Oh my god. I'll allow it. If it works, I'll allow it.
No! Come on!
There you go. You pull out the bar license from your body, for your body, and say, this is on the house. You pull out your bar license and offer it to the men. Here, you can take this and keep it as a souvenir. No, thank you, sir.
I have proven that I have a bar license for my body. That's all I needed to do.
Yeah, I guess
my body is a bar. I serve them beer from my body, which means that I took them back to a bar technically for beer, and I made friends with them after some
being a sufficient psychopath. You kept offering them shit and then abusing them immediately.
I so badly wish that we had a Misfits animated, because of all of the episodes we have ever cut, this is the one that I want to see animated the worst.
Oh my god. Would you like some cookies? Into the closet with you.
Have some, it's like, would you like some tea? Have some chamomile tea now. Out the window.
Get out of here. God. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, I guess, you know what? I'll give it to you on this one. This week, you succeeded, which will bring us on to the Wheel of Winners. Is that correct?
That is correct. I am questioning my sanity a little bit.
Yes. Let me just invoke your mouse controls real quickly so we avoid any incidents. That's the wrong button. But don't worry, the viewers don't see that. All right. Well, as we discussed earlier this week, since I got 300 points, I have 6 slots on this wheel. Detective Noir got even more. He got 400, so he has 8 slots on the wheel. But as usual, as is always the case, the AI has a decent chance of winning out today, which would mean that we have to buy our AI compatriots in this very studio a round of cyber beer. I know. Topical. But that is the way it works.
Yes, we're going to apply it to their outsides.
Yeah,
it's
and
topical cyber beer.
And as you guessed, if we had purple, we gotta re-roll the wheel. And if we fail 3 times, well, the AI gets that cyber beer anyway. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
And
we really need a real theme song.
Yeah, we sure do. Yeah, no, we're just saying words. Yeah,
oh.
No. Hey. Well, that's one re-roll on the board.
And again.
No.
Right between 2 re-rolls. Which actually I noticed that you have put 2 of mine in between. So this is kind of karma.
I wanted that pre-roll so bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, I win. Which was statistically favored. So it all makes sense.
Yeah, just like everything in life. Well, I guess that will lead us into our final segment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Let's move on to the miscommunication bot.
Alrighty. Do we actually like this prompt?
No, it's pretty garbage. Just so the viewers know, it says, would adventure capitalists
take on new life if you could recover?
And that's the entire question, which makes no sense. So
no, gentlemen.
Oh well.
Your mission is to make Puzzle Agent more difficult. Oh no.
Well, okay, so instead of making it puzzles you could do for fun, it's puzzles you can't do for fun. Nice.
Yeah, no, it's basically Puzzle Agent already has some kind of tricky puzzles in it. I've
Yeah.
heard some. I mean, it sort of runs the gamut. Like some people think the puzzles are kind of on the easy-ish side, but like
Mm,
you could, I guess, you just make all of the puzzles much more diabolical.
This is
Which
also, in a weird way, slightly topical because we discussed Telltale Games a decent amount during our discussions and quizzes and all that, and Puzzle Agent is a very weird anomaly for any of their game structures because generally they had two forms of games, right? They had their uh, Telltale style games like Walking Dead, their earlier adventure games like Sam and Max, and then they had the occasional offshoot sort of thing, like, their poker games. But Puzzle Agent was very different from all of that.
the other thing that's kind of interesting about it is that it's like even among puzzle games, it's kind of a weird game because most puzzle games, if you've played any puzzle games, are like a single type of puzzle that the game is built around, and you like
Mm-hmm.
solve that puzzle in order to like I'm thinking of something like one of my
Portal.
favorite games. Well, yeah, Portal actually is a good example. Portal
It's
2 is
open
a
the
good
door.
example.
Open the
But
door. I mean,
but
that's.
I was actually thinking more oh, what is it? One of my favorite games, which is um Opus Magnum,
Mm,
which is a game that's quote unquote about alchemy, but is fundamentally actually about programming. Um, is like this whole game of making 3D shapes with like machines that you create,
right.
and like the whole game is set up around that, and it just gives you more complex things. Whereas Puzzle Agent is like sort of agnostic about what kind of puzzle it's giving you. The only uniting factor is they're all puzzles. So actually, what's weird is you could easily make Puzzle Agent, but just more difficult by basically just dropping in more difficult kinds of puzzles. And to be honest with you, if I was going to find a spirit animal for doing that, I would track down the people who made the original Neopets quest. Because holy shit, did they have
Yeah.
absolutely no sense of what was reasonable?
No, not at all. The original NeoQuest is pretty brutal for like online. I think it was Flash. I guess it was just HTML based RPG.
I
Um,
would I would actually have it be a collaboration, in fact, between Scott Coffin and the original creators of Neopets.
and it's how you would make a harder one with more
Uh,
jump
uh,
scares, I guess.
No, no, because Scott Coffin, if you know anything about the way that he's sort of teased the games, has like basically the whole reason I think that like ARGs gained popularity in the first place, or sort of regained popularity in the first place, not in the first place, obviously, because
Hmm.
they predate him. But sort of this new boom of ARGs that we've had recently, I think, is largely attributable to him because he really like would use all of these sort of ARG type mechanics in order to tease new Freddy's games that were coming out. Less so in the games themselves, but like the man clearly has a head for like these complex puzzles, and he'll put all sorts of diabolical clues. He also released I believe he's responsible personally. I may be wrong about this, but I believe he's responsible personally for making like the activity book, the Five Nights at Freddy's activity book, which like
Yes, I
had
believe so.
several puzzles in it that encoded various pieces of lore about the game, some of which have still not been definitively, last I checked, have not been definitively proven to have been solved correctly.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, they're to be
I feel
fair.
like I feel like if you're talking about a man who like has sat down and made puzzles that thousands of people have worked on and they're still not sure if they have the right answer, that's the sort of man you need if you need to make difficult
Puzzle Ringer.
puzzles.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely done the ringer. He's um we've definitely talked about for our own reasons. We've talked about pretty deeply the sort of ARGs that are out there, and Scott Coffin has always kind of done pseudo ARG stuff for teasing every game. He'll hide stuff on the code of his website. He'll have just like an image he releases on Twitter where if you adjust the brightness, oh my god, there's the secret for the next game, sort of thing. And like he he does something that is interesting in the sense that I think you could potentially see a puzzle agent. If you ever saw a puzzle agent revived, I think it's been a decade since the last one, to be fair.
Yeah, there was like Puzzle Agent 2. I don't know if there was another one.
No, I don't think there was. I think it was just Puzzle Agent 2, and it's been almost a decade, so it's
Someone
ripe
would
for a
have
revival.
someone would have to buy the license to it, which I actually not sure what happened to it. It probably was sold off when Telltale died.
Probably, if anybody
Telltale
has
is
interest.
dead, right? I'm not wrong about that.
Dead and alive again, kind of. It's zombified. Like a company bought them, their shambles. So it's a lot of the development team that worked at Telltale is totally gone. However,
so whoever bought Telltale owns the rights.
Right, and in fact, they're working on a Wolf Among Us, like season 2. There's a trailer for it and everything.
That was like a very critically acclaimed game, so I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're trying to come out with what they're trying to do is they're trying to come out with their arm swinging without it seeming cheap, right? I think that probably what hurt Telltale games the most was it doesn't matter how good the stories could have been. The fact of the matter is that they were kind of viewed as very cheap and just kind of like trend following because they had a Guardians of the Galaxy game, a Batman game, a Minecraft game. It just seemed like they were just chasing whatever they thought would make them money.
Well, and as I kind of referenced earlier, part of the problem was, if I recall correctly, that actual accounting was done or leaked or something, and like they were actually genuinely spending more money on the licenses than development.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's also the thing. They were spending a shit ton of licenses. Some of those never made their money back. Like, some of the things they did early on as a company is they got some licenses for Lucas properties before Disney acquired LucasArts and Lucasfilms, which was things like Jurassic Park and Back to the Future. Back to the Future did pretty well, but like Jurassic Park did terribly, and the kind of
that's because it's not conducive to like an adventure game format when you're about to get eaten by dinosaurs.
No, and the problem is that while Lucasfilm may have not had a huge amount of faith ultimately in anything that wasn't Star Wars, which is absolutely true. Even Indiana Jones, in terms of like their game and movie space, they had like zero, or like game and entertainment space, they had like zero faith in. Hence why they hadn't really made their own Indiana Jones game since the Click and Point Adventure games days, because they were like, whatever, not Star Wars. So, Telltale capitalized on that, got essentially cheap licenses, which the problem is they had already made the games, and licenses like that get renegotiated when companies get acquired, because, well, yeah, I mean, if you're like Disney, you want to be able to renegotiate contracts because you don't want to be locked into necessarily terrible rates and deals that you didn't know were that terrible until you got control of the company, right? So you have to renegotiate that sort of stuff. And I think that Disney probably renegotiated higher for essentially complete losses.
I actually don't know if that's necessarily true, because there's no provision, unless the contract is specifically written in such a way that if the company is acquired or changes ownership, the contracts are automatically
true. It depends on how the contract was formed.
The contracts can be written in such a way, is my understanding, that they are contracts with the company as an entity, and as long as the company is not formally dissolved but merely changes hands, the contracts remain binding.
Yeah, there's a bit of question about how all those deals went down, but it's almost for sure that
even if theoretically, if you really wanted out of those contracts, you probably could dissolve the company, or at least threaten to dissolve the company, unless you wanted to renegotiate, if you really badly wanted to.
Right, because you could technically, dissolve the company and absorb the properties underneath it.
You could do that. You could dissolve the company and absorb the properties because you have ownership of both the company and its subsidiary properties. You could probably also, if you really badly wanted to maintain the brand, just formally dissolve the company and then formally recreate the company under the same name. And I don't necessarily think that I don't know that would be illegal, although you would also have no contracts with anyone at that point.
Well, and to be fair, I should correct, because Back to the Future is a Universal property. But the point being that almost certainly those older games probably remained being net negatives, but they wanted to continue selling them, which meant they had to continue more than likely paying the license on them, which is iffy. It really depends. If you update a game, you have to do license renegotiation, or if you like remake, like if you do a remaster. Hence why like anytime that Grand Theft Auto is remastered, previous entry, for instance, they have completely different music because they have to renegotiate all those contracts.
I'm
And
sure
like,
this extended discussion about contract negotiations is exactly the way that people, particularly
yeah, it
those of
is.
our
No, it
viewers
is.
who are saying,
Perfect. Anyway, I guess you're right. That's fine. We don't need to talk more about contract negotiations. I guess we're good for the day. I suppose you're correct. Well,
especially those of our viewers and or listeners who are currently driving in a car right now and attempting to use this to stay awake. I'm sure this has been
I hope you
the
enjoyed our
most helpful thing that we've
thrilling
done towards that.
discussion. Next week we'll be discussing the legal terminology defined in corporation construction.
No, the miscast is not legal advice and does not pretend to be legal advice and doesn't have
The
any aspirations
Miscast, legal
whatsoever.
advice you should never take.
Please don't. We're not even. We're
When
not
you're
even. Nope. No, we're not. No. Wrong. He's lying. Don't listen to him. We're not
for
even.
legal reasons, this is a joke.
It is. Definitely is.
Don't listen to us. We are not lawyers. Wink.
No. Genuinely. We're not lawyers. Oh my god.
Wink.
And on that shit show.
Well, I guess that will conclude this Friday episode. We had quite an interesting discussion. I think that we also had some pretty exciting times today, especially with the AI dungeon. That was a good time.
I think that the AI dungeon went hilariously incorrect. That went so bad.
Yeah, we've redirected that thing in our people here may not be aware. We've literally been doing weeks of kind of test recordings, refining the process, and yeah, usually you can redirect the AI dungeon to do whatever you want.
It
Not
is
today.
usually not that resistant.
Yeah, it's usually pretty. It will be if you're just like, I use my newly acquired god powers to command my minions to do X. The game will be like, yeah, you use your god powers to like command your minions to do X.
Not
But
today.
no,
Today it had a plot. It very badly wanted to follow it.
it really wanted that plot. That plot went off the rails, but that's okay. We will be back tomorrow, correct? For our Saturday episode where we discuss games of the week.
Yes, indeed. And I will be hosting again.
You will be host. Excited to hear it. Want to thank everybody for coming out for Friday. Don't forget to go back and catch our Monday and Wednesday episode if you are a little confused what the Miscast is all about. Not every episode every week is like this. Our Monday and Wednesday and Saturday episodes are very different from our Friday episodes. So please go check them out. And we will see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.